Hello and welcome to Leaders Insights by Forbes Middle East. At the moment, as we all work and exist almost entirely from home, we are more reliant on technology than we have ever been before. So today, I speak to the leader managing the regional operations for one of the biggest technology companies in the world, Takreem El-Tohamy, General Manager for the Middle East and Africa at IBM. Welcome to the show, Takreem.
Thank you for having me.
So, Takreem, could you tell me about how you're feeling in this current environment? Lots of things are changing. Are you feeling positive, or do you have any concerns for the future?
I still feel positive about the future, and I'm basing this on three things. Number one, history. So I see that countries and governments and organizations are learning from past experiences. So in this case, I see, for example, that central banks and governments are stepping in quickly to try to stimulate the various economies. The second one, I see better collaboration between countries, governments, and organizations. And the proof point I see is, for example, 3 months into the crisis, we have already 8 potential vaccines that are undergoing clinical trials. This would not have happened if there was no collaboration between many parties. This would have taken months, if not years. And in IBM, we are proud to be part of some form of this collaboration. So we are leading together with the White House a task force, a high performance computing task force, where the fastest computer available, which is running at the Department of Energy in the US, is helping researchers on the efforts they're doing with the vaccine. And I saw that the researchers were looking at like 8,000 proteins. They were able to bring down the 8,000 proteins to 70 in a matter of few days. This would have taken many months.
So technology, it's now absolutely fundamental to our existence. Social distancing would be almost impossible without it. How do you think this experience is going to change business and society in the long term?
So what I see is that this digital transformation is now important. Everybody realizes that it's not nice to have, or it's important but not urgent, but they see that it's something they need to do right now. So we will see more and more digital transformation. We will see more and more transformation in the different industries, and we will see more and more services that people will be acquiring digitally from the other organizations. And this is, of course, will have a big impact on everyone.
Do you think what we're seeing here is a global digital transformation?
And it is global, and it is across all industries. So organizations and industries, as I said, and this is what we call in IBM building cognitive enterprises on the cloud. And by cognitive enterprises, we mean have organizations that have data, analytics, and artificial intelligence infused in everything they do. And cloud is the infrastructure that all these systems would run on. So this is what we will see the trend, and we'll see what is happening in the future, and this will happen at a global scale across all the industries.
What do you think the future holds specifically for, say, healthcare or education or indeed travel?
Technology will help all industries, and all industries need to adopt this digital transformation, and they will need to evolve, transform, and build new business models. So, for example, I give you an example. We run every year a big event where we invite our clients to come meet the senior leaders of IBM and have access to solutions, to research, and demos, and interact together and learn from each other. So last year, it was attended by 30,000 people. This year, we had it planned last week in San Francisco. And again, we were planning for like 35,000. when this pandemic happened, we switched in 6 weeks into a digital conference, a virtual conference, and we got 90,000 participants. So this tells you how this industry of conferences can be transformed. I mean, and the same thing is happening with healthcare. So healthcare, now we see most of the resources in healthcare are dedicated to COVID-19. So many people are not seeing their doctors right now. And when we're over with COVID-19, there will be a big backlog of people wanted to see the healthcare system, the doctors and so on. Now, would the system be able to support? And I think there will be trends like telemedicine, for example, that will become important, where people can communicate with their doctors remotely, and they can talk together about what they're doing, what's happening, diagnosis, medicine, and so on. The same thing at education. Now, for half the year, the students are at home doing virtual learning and remote learning. They were doing some before, but most of it was classroom. Now, when they go back, what would be the right balance? So all these industries will really transform. And I tell you, for example, in the tourism industry, we have been working with some authorities about doing like a digital archive for all the monuments they have. With some others, we are developing virtual tours, so people can sit at their homes and they can have a tour of a specific monument. We have just to embrace the technology, and when we embrace the technology, this will open horizons for reimagination, you know, and the people who understand the industry more would be the people best to develop new services, new business models, and definitely the industries will look different and hopefully to the better.
Do you have any examples that you can share with us about how this situation has impacted you, your company's work in particular?
So really, it accelerated our plan. So for example, in the area of education, with schools and universities closing down and people are sitting at home, we stepped very quickly with our clients and the authorities to provide to them our digital learning platform. So it is an education platform that has curricula for all the education courses related to the technology we talked about of digital transformation. So it's about cybersecurity, about artificial intelligence, about cloud. And we made this available to authorities. So the UAE Ministry of Education is now using it and making it available to its schools. So we have 95% or more than 95% of our people working from home. And then the rest are ones who are doing critical jobs at client sites and also at the IBM data centers, because it is extremely important for us to make sure that the systems of our clients are up and running. And this is why all of us are able to access our banks and order food and order grocery and even shop online, or use our cell phone, have a video conference like this one, because the systems of our clients are up and running. There was an interesting case in one of the countries. They had a very important and big hospital that was planned to open in July. So the government came and asked us to put more effort to bring the opening day from July to March. So our team stepped in, again, taking all possible precautions, and worked hard with their counterparts at the client side. And we were happy that the hospital was open last month. And this really contributed to the fight this country is having against COVID-19.
That is incredible. This has been so interesting, Takreem. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to you all for tuning in to this episode of Leaders Insights. I shall see you next time.